What's up, everyone? Sam Sharp here. Interesting enough, after my last post talking about the big win with the appraisal issue, or not issue, but getting an appraisal on a VA deal that came in higher than the purchase price, I just read a great article about a legislation that was introduced in mid-May to try and let's just say revamp the appraisal process for VA in general, trying to modernize this by implementing some similar processes that are used with other types of financing. So Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have integrated some practices that streamline the process. Again, you could call it a more modern approach, if you will, by using a digital interaction and interface for ordering and reviewing and interacting with those reports. But a huge caveat in there that when reading the article that got me excited is that they were talking about possibly adopting the approach that's utilized for appraisal waivers. So many people may not know, but so a lot of transactions right now are run through an algorithm that was created by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So once we have a property identified or an address, this is run through an algorithm that will then determine, based off the characteristics and the history of that property, as well as just the overall setup of that transaction, they'll determine if an appraisal is actually necessary. So I think it's important to note, when you have an appraisal on a transaction, when you're buying a home or borrowing money to finance a home, the appraisal is for the lender, right? You pay for it, but it's for us. The appraisal is to tell us that the property is sufficient collateral for the transaction from a risk perspective, right? So when determining what to lend on a property and approving the loan, it's all based off risk and looking at what that risk factor is. So this algorithm goes through and will determine if an appraisal is necessary based off those risk factors, if you will. So what's really cool is that now VA is talking about adopting this appraisal waiver method, and that would be tremendous. I mean, there are a lot of stigmas out there when it comes to VA financing and to the appraisal process specifically. It tends to be, kind of a black cloud that's followed this around unnecessarily. And this would be a huge caveat, not just to get the waiver, right? But when you think about it, just for a general mindset, if we're able to make these strides in the industry and to go through and show like, hey, look, you know what, we are getting waivers on these transactions. So first and foremost, if you do get a waiver, then that alleviates that concern out of the gate. But it also just shows that, it's not so hard. We are leveling the playing field when it comes to conventional versus VA financing. I think that's huge. So pretty excited about that. I'll keep my eyes on this and see how far it passes. Hopefully it passes. And obviously I'll keep you posted on that. But, great things. And again, just another way to show how the VA really does want to help veterans. They're really pushing to try and help and try to make the home buying process more accessible and an easier and less, difficult type of process, so that, by utilizing these types of approaches, it will help buyers, compete in a market that's been just off the rails competitive over the last few years. This is going to, again, help level that playing field and give our veterans a better chance. So good stuff. We'll keep you posted.